Hi, how y'all doing? Today is November the 3rd, 2025. It's Monday. Here in Ontario, Canada, the sky was cloud covered and it rained and hailed, and now it's stopped. The sun shone through the clouds for a few minutes just a little while ago. Alright? It's around what? 3:30, I think, something like that. So yeah, how'd y'all sleep last night? I slept good. I did. I don't remember waking up to go to the bathroom at all. But because of the stupid time change, I was up at 5:30 again, or 5:21, right? That's 8, 5 and 2 and 1, right? So, yeah, I tried to stay into bed till 6, but I got up at quarter to 6. Started my day. Um, how you enjoying the energy? Is anybody messing with you yet? Right? My One of my sons, the one that took his thumb off, uh, did a FaceTime with me in the Rise, right? And I'm doing my best to talk him into quitting drinking and healing himself, right? So I figured I'd talk to him, right? I knew he'd already been drinking, but it was early enough. He wasn't impaired. And so did my best to get through to him, right? And I told him, I said, this is a game. Think of it as a game, like Zelda, right? I said, you're in a weakened space. Your health meter is like that, and it keeps on getting smaller and smaller. I said, you need to start finding some hearts, some life, right? Some health. I said, you need to get rid of the alcohol. That's depleting the health bar, right? I said, you need to find something, some health, right? Some hearts. I said, aren't you tired of being stuck on that level? Right? I said, you're in that room looking for the magic hammer or the sword to get out the door, but you haven't found it yet. Why not? I thought you were good at this game, right? I was like, you need to find it, right? So you can get out and get on to the next level. I said, you got to get rid of the alcohol. That way you'll find your key and get out of the door to the next level, right? And he was getting it. He was getting it, right? It was like, come on, level up. Aren't you tired of being stuck in that damn room? I said, you're just talking to NPCs all the time. You keep going asking them questions and it's the same answer. They don't have any new information, right? I said, you made your move. You're talking to the oracle, right? He goes, you're my mom. I said, yes, but I'm an oracle, right? You lit my candle, my fire, and I'm here to tell you what to do, how to get out of the room, how to level up, right? So I communicated to him like this, right? And then the next thing, we talked for a while, and then we ended it, and then he shows up at my door, right? He comes here. It did not make me happy because he had been drinking, and I got him to come in the house because his bandage was all ratted and dangling off his hand. So I wound it back up, and I give him my speech again about leveling up, right? About forgiving yourself. No matter what you've done, you can't carry that crap around with you. Just don't do it again. That feels so much better, right? And then he went home, and I forgot. I seen his hand was starting to get oozy, so I FaceTimed him again, and I said, "Get rid of the beer. Are you drinking? Get rid of the beer. Make a tea." I said, "You need to fill your health bar up. Where's those hearts? Because in Zelda, you gotta hit little hearts, right, to give you health." And if I remember correctly, it's been a long time since I've played it, right? I'm a master, and or I was. I haven't played it for a very long time, and so he made himself a tea, and I told him to get some hot water and salt and you know, and soak his hand, the one with the thumb still, because both of them are all messed up, right? And he sat in front of the camera and did it for me, and he's like, "Oh, this feels so much better. It's not stinging or nothing." I said, "No, you need to do this once a day, right, to make sure you don't get sepsis or blood or infection, blood infection, or blood poisoning." I said, "Because you've depleted your system quite a bit, right? All your antibodies are going to your hands to heal them, and you're polluting yourself with alcohol, right? You're taking away from it." I said, "This is how." I said, "You want to lose both your hands, right? You got to get them mended up." So I told him what to do. Go through the stages, right? Soak his hands, clean them up. Well, I didn't get him to do his thumb one, right? I told him just to take the water and wash it off this hand. Don't touch the bandage. And get his polysporin and put it on it, right? And then I said, smoke a joint, get rid of the beer, right? Smoke a joint. So he couldn't roll a joint because of his hands, right? So he made himself a little pipe and smoked some. And he was like, "Oh, that hit me hard." I said, "Of course. How long have you been drinking?" I said, "Now." I said, "You made tomatoes or turkey soup there the other day." Because I seen on Facebook, he posted it, right? Because he's a good cook. He was a chef, right? And he's like, "Yeah, I still got turkey soup." I said, "Okay, well, I want you to have some turkey soup, right? Now that your hands are clean, dry them off with a clean towel, put the medicine on, right? Get your turkey soup heated up, right?" I said, "Because that's health." I said, "Right there, that's health. That's a heart, right? Warm, cozy turkey soup, right?" And so he said, "Okay." And he got a phone call so that ended, right? And I waited an hour and I texted him back and told him, asked him if he ate his soup. He goes, "Yeah, it was good, tasty, right?" I said, "Okay, now go to sleep, right?" I'm trying to get him to sober up because I know once he sobers up, he'll be able to take care of his hands himself, right? I even went as far as saying, if he quits drinking, I'll make him a promise. I never make promises because adults don't keep promises. But I'm a woman to my word. If I make a promise, I will keep it to the best of my ability, right? And I said, "I promise, if you quit drinking, I'll quit drinking too." I said, "I only do it to socialize. It's the only way I know how to socialize." I said, "But I'm willing to give that up if you're willing to give it up." He was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah." I said, "I promise you, right?" I said, "I don't have a problem with that. I'll find another way, right?" And so the last thing we did was he said he'd quit drinking, right? And I said, "It starts right now, this minute, this moment." And he was like, "Okay." So I texted him back after a while and said, "Are you done?" He's like, "Yeah, I just got the munchies." I said, "We'll eat more soup," right? You know what I mean? I said, "I'll phone you at night. We're in the rise to see if you're keeping your word, right?" Because I give him my word, and I'll stick to it. I don't have a problem with that. I don't drink that much that it's a big deal anyway, right? I mean, for this summer, I enjoyed myself a little bit, but not like other people. It's not a daily thing. Maybe once a week, and now it's been like, yeah, I don't really care. You know, I've got a new consciousness, right? I'm seeing things in a different way now. So I have more understanding and overstanding of what's going on and how to do this battle better. It's a game, remember? Right? So that's where I'm at. We gotta try to help him save his hands, right? Told my other son, he came home from work, and I told him what I was doing. I said, and he gets it. He says, "It's your son. Of course you would do anything, Mom." I'm like, "Yeah, I just hope I'm not saving him from his karma, because it's not my job to save you from your karma, to save you. It's your job to save yourself, right? I'm just hopefully getting him sober enough that he'll realize this and save himself. We tried this with my father as well years ago, when before he died in my young 20s. All right, we rented him an apartment in the back of the house. My mom, me, and me, right, agreed to it. I was living in the house. She had another place, right? And he sobered up for a while, but then he got sick and he started sneaking alcohol again. Like, he'd get cans of Lysol, the spray, put a hole in the bottom with a nail and drink it, right? As alcohol content. He'd drink anything with alcohol content, right? And he started doing that, hiding it, until he couldn't anymore. And then he started hitting the stuff from the store again. And then he had an alcoholic seizure and died on my little brother's couch, right? Same year. So I know better than to get my hopes up when you're dealing with people that have addictions like that, right? I just hope I didn't bite off too big of a piece for me to chew, you know? We'll see how it goes, right? I ask the ancestors for help. I talk to my higher self, myself, to talk to his self, his higher self, to help him smarten up and love himself more. Because we're in the times right now where I call it karma, but maybe there's another word for it. Big Mama, Source, is doing her thing, Mother Nature, Hawa, right? Cleaning people off the earth, those that it deems unworthy and undeserving, because their lack of morals, their lack of self-love, and the love of others. They're just in it to, they just live to hurt and to get their money, right? Get their bag, right? They don't care what they do to their children, to anybody. It's all about the money and the prestige so that they can pretend they're happy because they got stuff, right? New car, vacation, nice furniture, a home, whatever the case may be. See what I'm saying? I'm seeing through people a lot better, a lot easier, all right? So, yeah, I hope I didn't bite off more than I could chew. But I'll only let it go so far. I won't let it dampen me, right? Or bring me down. Because I know everything happens for a reason, right? It's a lesson or a blessing. And I'm okay with that because I surrender to Source. I have no choice, right? I've never been perfect. I've done my share of misdeeds in the past. I had to forgive myself for and never do them again, right? And I've never done them again. So I find myself worthy. That's why I guess the Source picked me to be a chosen one, all right? Because you have to be in the dark before you can go to the light. See what you have to learn, right? What not to do. Just like the ancestors. On everybody, for everybody's ancestors, right? Hopefully you don't have to pay for your ancestors' misdeeds if they were that big. Like being a slave owner or whatever the case may be. There's many ways that people hurt people out there just for their own self-righteousness. Right? Right. The Schuman yesterday was 44. Today it's 17. Well, it came down quite a bit. Ears are still ringing really loud. But because it dropped throughout the night, I think that's why I slept so well. Right? My foot's really bothering me today, though. Pressure in the head again. Spine. Yeah, icky spine day. Right? My foot's tight. Still got a strange taste in my mouth. Been coughing a lot too. Dry, weird cough, right? been drinking lots of water. That's all I do. I have 2 cups of tea in the rise and then water for the rest of the day. I don't drink anything else. It's not good for me, right? Aggravates my cells, inflames them. So yeah. Same as, rejection, right? When somebody rejects you for whatever purpose, for a job, for a date, or anything, right? To hang out with them, to be part of them, a club, a group, it's actually a blessing in disguise, right? And this big mama source saving you and saying, nah, 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 dear, don't go there, right? You're not going to like what they do, right? You really don't want to be part of that, right? That's how it works. Unless you're stubborn like me and your husband has to almost kill you before you leave him. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm loyal. But I got over that. I've grown, I wouldn't, not making that mistake ever again. I'll walk. If I can't walk, I'll crawl. I drag myself with my arms. Right? For sure. So yeah. When's the full moon? Let me see. It should be coming soon. I think we're starting to feel the energy of it already, eh? It'll be emotional and in your mind. It'll be stuff that you want to purge. Just don't be purging it on other people. Keep that crap to your, keep it under control. Full moon's on Wednesday. So yeah, 3 days before we start feeling the energy. 3 days after. Full moons are always emotional, right? Either mental or your emotions. You know what I mean? So yeah. I don't know if it was a dark trying to work through my son today or not to get me into my emotions to bring down my vibration, but I think I handled it pretty well. I was up to the challenge. I said, well, this is what I'm going to do to fight this off, right? And this is what I've decided to do. Do you think it's the right choice? Or should I just walk away and let him lose his hands to infection or whatever because he was too drunk and he wouldn't sober up? Because he was feeling sorry for himself, right? I had to do a lot of talking to him. I had nothing better to do today anyway, did I? And he did, when he came over with his car, he pumped up my truck tire because one tire was low. So that's done. I can go to the store now and I don't have to stress out about it because my foot and my leg bothers me so much. I can't, it's very difficult. No, can't. Very difficult for me to bend down, crouch down like that and hold that friggin' air hose on the tire. You know what I mean? My hip, my leg wants to twist out and everything. It's not comfortable in the least. So I put it off until I can get somebody to go with me to do it for me. My other son, I said he would help, but he didn't come. Made a reason why he couldn't. And then my youngest son that lives with me, he works all week, right? And he's always too tired to help me out after. I have to get him when he's not working, right? So I was like, oh no, how am I gonna go to the store or when I need to, right? But yeah, it's a messed up way on how it happened because I would have preferred him not to drive his vehicle, right? But it worked out for me. Hopefully it works out for him, right? No mother likes to see their children suffer if she's real, organic, from a good bloodline, loves herself and loves her children, would fight tooth and nail that nobody would ever harm them, right? That's how I feel. Don't touch my children. Even now they're adults. Don't touch my children. They're still mine. So yeah. It's still crazy out there, folks. It really is. People are getting more and more of it is coming out. They can't hold it back anymore. They're all going to, what's the word I always use? Self-destruct. Because they haven't healed here or here. Right? They won't forgive themselves. They won't stop their bad behavior. Right? Mama Earth ain't putting up with that. Source, Big Mama Source ain't putting up with that. The time is now. Same as that C1 Atlas. That's also the very top vertebrae that attaches your head to your body. It's called C1 Atlas. If you look it up, it also says Leviathan, C1 Atlas and Leviathan. And it just so happens there's a great big mass that's moving from the water from around Antarctica, I believe. Right? They don't know what it is. It's under the ocean. Right? I would think it would be Leviathan. I guess C1 Atlas and Leviathan go together. Atlantis is rising. I don't know. Chief Rod Hayes says that Atlantis was a ship and it went up. It didn't go down. But this world, this realm, has been flipped upside down. So everything's opposite of what it is. The God in church is the Satan. Do you know what I mean? That's why people are going crazy. They go to churches and stuff. They've been worshiping the wrong one, All right. I'm not sure if my son's girlfriend just came in or not. I can hear her voice, I thought. Or else I'm hearing things. I'm not hearing things. It would be my psychic ability getting stronger, right? I could be talking to somebody on the phone. It doesn't always have to be strange, I suppose, right? All right. Forgive yourself. I'm telling you, there's nothing so bad that you've done that you cannot forgive yourself. Just don't do it again. I don't care. I got 4 pointed back at me. I mean it to me too. Right? All right. I shortly got to make my dinner here. Or our dinner. Every day, I'm stronger than the day before. Every day, Big Mama Source speaks through me more than the day before. Every day, I have more gratitude than the day before. I love you all's consciousness. Enjoy this night or day. Okay? Okay. Bye. Bye.